There's a guy tied up out the back, and all he was doing was emptying the bins, and now I'm in here.
Why did you ask for a princess dress for Christmas? Boys don't wear princess dresses!
Hello there, and welcome back to the Zero Credentials F1 podcast. I am here with my good friend, Nelly. Nelly, did you know that we are not the only thing back? There is something else that's coming back in this race.
I've not noticed anything, not one thing. Tell me.
I saw today that Ferrari are bringing back the flippy upside-down wing.
Ah, nice. This is a development that I want to see. I want to see some batshit crazy stuff popping up all over the place. I want more of that.
Absolutely. So let's actually as well. I can't roll the intro today because we've been rumbled for using music
By the fun place.
Yeah, so I need to buy a license basically for the song that we've been using, and then we'll be all right.
I can sing something. I'm a little hoarse, but I can sing something.
You're not very well.
I think I've got the Rona. I think I've got the Wu-Tan. Oh no, but it's mostly just my feelings. So I'll finish this, have a bit of a cry, and then I'll sort myself out. Yeah. Then I'll take that guy out the back and shoot him in the head. Man up.
My mate made me come on the internet and talk to him about F1 for a bit.
I feel like a Geordie, like I'm really, really tired. I'm just so tired. You cannot believe it. Oh no, I'm tired. Leave us alone.
So I've actually got us a little graphic because I think China, which is obviously the race we're talking about, the Chinese Grand Prix is this weekend. Oh, my throat as well.
Oh,
what's going on?
Do you want a little back rub, sweet pea? Oh, yeah, that's it.
So it's a Chinese Grand Prix, obviously, this weekend. And it's a sprint weekend. And I think there's a pretty good chance, especially because of that Ferrari, the way that Ferrari starts as well, that this is going to be, the sprint race is going to be like the wacky races.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
At no point last season was I this excited about Formula One or a race. And I know we've whinged about the batteries, and I think there's a lot of unresolved issues with the regulations. There's no doubt about it, but I enjoyed the last race. And I think this one's, there's so many variables, there's so many unknowns, there's so much drama and jeopardy. And then Ferrari, danger. Yeah, exactly. We love that. And then Ferrari bringing that fucking cool wing that just spins upside down.
This is what I want. I want to see crackers, Italians. I want to see them just going absolutely mental and doing things completely off the cuff. I mean, Ferrari know that they're still a bit nervous about being 8/10 down on Mercedes in terms of qualifying form. But we've had one race. We've had a little flavour of what they can do, and we know that their race pace is much, much better than their qualifying pace, and their reliability is good. So.
And on top of that, people with credentials seem to suggest that the big turbo on the Mercedes was beneficial at Australia, whereas there's a lot of. Let me bring up the course map for China. Obviously, if you're listening on the podcast, you need to subscribe to the YouTube channel and use both, whichever one suits you. But there is a very long straight in Sector 3 coming up to sort of turn 14, where that is now you sort of fast bit where they open up the wings. So that is where you're really going to see that Ferrari wing, I think, if they do use it.
Yeah.
But then the sort of twisty section in the first and second sector, so many slow corners where maybe that Ferrari smaller turbo will give them a benefit. I don't know. And then that turn 12 into 13 and into the straight is like, that is an exciting part of the season and the track. Like a big, like flat out for a long period of time.
Yeah. But there was no sense last week in Australia that the bigger turbo made such a big difference. The Ferrari were keeping pace relatively. It's just the impressiveness of how Mercedes look after their tyres. I think that's going to be a major factor in, because they barely scrubbed their ones in the second stint.
True. And Ferrari Ferrari probably gave away 10 seconds of race time as well with their strategy. So I think it's probably closer.
Nice and tight, isn't it? It's exciting.
Yeah,
it's exciting. I mean, I just got a flavour last week, and I mean, as you're exactly right. The energy system. I think a lot of people will start figuring each other out and almost nullify the effect of the overtake. But it'll force people to do different tactics with that. But as we said last week, the first race wasn't a complete nightmare with the energy. It was in fact quite exciting. There was a lot of decent overtakes and there was a lot of back and forth, and it took some real skill if somebody got ahead to stay ahead.
I think it's also going to be interesting with the sprint race that some of the teams that are maybe struggling with reliability, that they might not have that worry or concern in the sprint race, so they'll just go for it, use it as an example of, well, we do have pace in the car, this is what we can do, and then sort of try and replicate that if there is an improvement in the race on Sunday.
I mean, it's 50-50 whether Aston Martin could finish the sprint race in one go. They've got half a chance. They'll be delighted. I still think they'll be at the back of the grid, but they've got half a chance not to vibrate their arms off in this session. But yeah, you're exactly right.
Before you go on that point, I saw an interview with Alonso today where the interviewer sort of quoted what Adrian Newey had said about Alonso, saying like he's in a sort of tricky position, sort of emotionally or professionally, and then so they put that to Alonso, saying like, well, you are in a really tricky position, aren't you? It's uncomfortable and you're not happy. And he was like, it's not as bad as you think, like, because he knows he's probably thinking about, in the perspective of the world, of all the positions you can be in a role or a job in the world, I'm still living the life here. Like, he just looked like more about like the funds than he's ever looked before.
Yeah. He's not driving a tanker off the shores of Dubai on a run, is he? I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, he's still having a nice time.
Just like that little cheeky like grin that he's got. It's just like, it probably gets him out. It's got him out a lot of trouble in his life, hasn't it? Like
absolutely love him.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No. Do you think that there'll be a race towards smaller turbos? Do you think all back at the factory they're trying to resize their turbos? I mean, I'm not so sure, because the rest of the engine package and the powertrain package is packed in so tightly around it, and it's so tightly aligned to the chassis that I'm not sure they could do it this half of the season, to be honest with you. I think they'll be looking at it, but I don't think they'll be.
I think that's a good question, because I'd heard that part of what Lewis Hamilton has tried to push for and change at Ferrari is not fully committing down one development path. So like, if the thing they did at the start didn't quite work, they'd be able to go down the second or third fork of the road that was available to them. I imagine some of the other teams have sort of done it like that as well. But it seems like Ferrari are kind of in a good position. But if you've got Ferrari with a small turbo that's working, and then Mercedes with a big turbo that's working, it's like, well, which maybe both work, and we can just kind of go for maybe a medium-sized turbo works, but maybe that does the complete opposite. You've got to go extreme.
Maybe a divergence, but it's good because things were getting so homogenous, weren't they, across the entire field? Everybody had the same kit, and that's why there's so much excitement with this Ferrari Crazy Ring coming out to play this weekend. I'm so excited for that, because they're saying it works in reverse. So instead of downforce, it must actually give a small amount of lift, which I think they have said, but not so much lift as to take your back wheels off the ground.
No, because I imagine
you need to have traction.
Because it's flipping though. It would be like an aeroplane in reverse. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like spinning on its axis, is it? It's like it's going upside down. So if it was a wing, the back edge is at the front. Do you know what I mean? It's like back to front. So maybe there's still a tiny bit of lift, but not like
enough lift to take pressure off the suspension and the actual chassis, but not so much to take away from the traction. Yeah, obviously you need those tyres bedded down to deliver the traction and the torque.
Well, looking at the course again, what I did find interesting is that I know this track from being in the simulator, my PlayStation shaped simulator. But from turn 4 to turn 5 and 6, that is one of the zones where they can open up the wings for the fast. What do they call it? Fast straight mode or something.
Straight mode, yeah.
There's a corner in there of turn 5, which albeit is not. It's fairly flat, but George Russell was talking last week about it being hairy going round a corner with that, with the wings open. Because in the past, those corners have been straight because they were on rails, but they're not as on rails.
Dumping downforce, yeah. So I mean, they want
so it'd be interesting to see if some of them close the wings early, going in between sort of turn 5 and turn 6. I don't know.
In the simulator though, because this is ostensibly a driver's track, all the drivers say it's great fun to drive. It's so much excitement, so much fun just to be flying around here. Do you get the same sort of sensation compared to other tracks?
Well, in my expert opinion, mate.
Whoa!
Here we go.
Are you developing credentials here? We don't need that.
I've got PlayStation credentials. Yeah.
Oh, well.
It depends on the car. Like if you've got a good car, then it's a great track.
Yeah.
But if you've got a stinker, like that turn 12 and 13 where you're going like that round that loop at the end before the straight, that is an absolute beast of a corner. You can't really go flat out unless you've got.
It just feels slow and cumbersome if you've got a shitty car.
You can get on the sooner you can get on the power out of that corner, the better. So you've got to line it up properly around turn 12 so you can basically get on the power as quickly as possible. And so it's totally dependent on your car. I could be mate. This is not called the Zero Credentials podcast for no reason.
Well, you've got the sister podcast of PlayStation Credentials, haven't you? Where it's the complete antithesis of this.
Yeah,
you talk about shit that you know on there, but yeah. I was just checking you, bro. Just checking you. Got to keep it real.
Yeah, I'm really average at a lot of things.
I don't believe that. I've known you for many years, and you're an extremely, extremely competitive person.
I'm not sure
you don't like failure.
I'm not sure that's true anymore. I just want to. I just want to watch it. What I want to have is enough money in my business or whatever to just fuck off all around the world whenever I want and go to all the races. Not in the paddock. Like I've always
out with the keeping it real. Out with the real people.
Yeah, let's say if this podcast kicks off and we make it big and we start selling adverts to you guys, because that's how YouTube works, unfortunately.
What?
We'll take that money and we'll go to the races, and we'll do a vlog from the fan perspective. That's what I kind of want. I've always thought that'd be super cool.
Let's do it in 2 ways. You do it from the actual the stadia, and I'll do it from.
We could literally
have
the
a Primo
screen.
Paddock
screen like this. No, I'm like, oh, it's raining. Oh, fuck, Silverstone in the rain, and you're champagne.
Yeah, yeah. Reporting from Primo Hospitality.
That's a much better idea.
I hope they take the. I think that's where they've hidden the grid girls. They've put them in the paddock, in the hospitality area, and that's one for another day. But the sooner the grid girls come back, the better.
Yeah, because you can't support women by sacking women, can you? Like that.
Exactly.
How does that work? So they must have a job somewhere still.
Do you know how many unemployed models there are since F1's binned the grid girls? And I mean, what possible harm could it cause?
Yeah.
Anyway, we live in a.
That's a great idea. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious viewing. You having the time of your life, and me just roughing it with the real people.
Yeah, getting a massage and a manicure, and watching it on a screen.
If you like the sound of that, you can subscribe to this channel to get.
You can make that happen.
Yeah, one step closer to making that video happen. And we don't maybe we could make an agreement that the first kind of 500 quid that we make, we can go to Silverstone, go to the British Grand Prix, and make a video or something, and get you into the paddock.
Big time. I just look like I belong there, so I'll just walk through. And flash. Can you still get fake ID like when you were kids? I'll just get somebody's bus pass or something like that.
Yeah.
Flash it along. I'll
We just need
Lewis, yeah, Nelly, yeah. All right, yeah.
Do you know on like heist movies, when you're watching a heist movie, there's always like a patsy that like it's your janitor or your kind of low level job who they sort of tie up and then take their uniform
and then imitate. Yes,
yeah. We might have to go with that play and get you in there like with a mop or holding a cart of like a tray of food.
I mean, all
with a
I need
McLaren
is one of those
shirt
tabards. They seem really easy to print. It's not a very complex design, is it? One of the tabards that Ted wears. I'll just... Or we just fake it like, you rock with the camera and I'm walking backwards as if we're like press and doing an interview and just keep walking back down the pit lane.
Oh yeah. Subscribe to the channel and that'll happen. That's the
absolutely
goal.
Yeah. We'll be on one of Martin's walks, one of Martin's grid walks.
Yeah,
he'll question us one day. That'll be fun.
And then, but you could just tell the truth. He'd be like, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, I just broke in. I pretended to be. That's going to make great. I pretended to be a janitor, and I just broke in." And he'll be like, "Oh," and we'll be like, "No, I'm not joking." And like,
Martin, have you seen those films? Yeah. there's a guy tied up, hog tied up out the back, and all he was doing was emptying the bins. And now I'm in here.
That would be hilarious.
Remind me.
Not for the guy that just no one got hurt in the making of this video.
Slip a $5 in his top pocket.
Yeah,
he'll be well compensated for that.
Yeah. Oh man, that is funny.
But this isn't all about fun. This gets very, very competitive, doesn't it?
Talk to me.
This program gets competitive.
It does, mate. That is a good point.
We chat about stuff, but we also go head to head in a 3-way, head to head with you, myself, and our arm's length behind the scenes producer, the Whites. So what do we do about that?
We do some predictions, mate. And I think I went first this week because I think partly I just wanted to get it in there.
You like copying us, so yeah.
No. I'm 4 points to the good. White has got 1. You've got 0. So what I thought was, I can't see Mercedes getting beat, if I'm honest. So I've gone George for the sprint. We don't do sprint qualifying, just the sprint race. So George for the sprint race, George for pole, and George for the win. I've then gone Kimi. I think Lewis loves China. I think the Ferrari's fast. He's going to be 3rd.
Yeah.
Then Charles, because the Ferrari's fast. And then I've gone for Max. So I have not given McLaren a sniff for the first time in quite a long time. First time ever on this channel.
It's hard to argue with that. Based on the one race form that we've seen, it's entirely logical.
Yeah. Shall I do White's next? Because
go for the white man.
We've got pre-prepared graphics.
We spent up to 3 minutes a day preparing for this.
So true. Let me find it. Oh God, I can't even find it. Right, he's gone for. Yeah, go on. You tell it. You tell us.
So the Whites has taken Lewis for the sprint. He's mixing it up because, as again we've said before, and people know on the channel, he's not a Lewis fanboy, but he must like the Ferrari starts, and he must like. He must
like Lewis winning there last year as well in the sprint.
I think he's. Do you know we have prizes for this at the end of the year, like a trophy for the greatest. I think one of the wooden spoon prizes. I shouldn't really say this because I'm likely to lose because I'm shit at this. If Whites loses, is anti-prize is to get a tattoo of Lewis or something like that. Yeah, L44 or something like that. So he's got Lewis for the sprint, but then he reverts back to form. George for pole, George for the race, Kimi second, Charles third, so still following on with the Ferrari theme. Doesn't rate Lewis so much in this one, puts him 4th, and then his lover from another mother, Max, comes 5th.
Again,
so yeah.
Again, for the people listening on the podcast, no orange, no papaya on that board yet.
No, it's hard to see it coming back anytime soon. I mean, I hope
Nelly, put some papaya on the board for us. Tell us what you've got Give us a little bit of papaya.
No papaya for you, brother.
Oh wow!
So, just because he won it last year, and because I think he likes China, I've got Lewis for the sprint. But for the actual quali itself, I've got to go George because I just think they're too strong.
George Mr. Saturday.
Mr. Saturday afternoon, exactly. So, or early Saturday morning, as it happens in this result. George for the win. Lewis second, because I can't have him winning the sprint and then not doing much in the rest of the race. Kimi third, Charles fourth, and a bit of a roll of the dice because I like the way he's looking in that car is Isaac Hadjar for fifth.
Yeah, I like that. I think not only is that the first time that in this on this channel that we haven't seen any papaya, but it's the first time we've seen Isaac Hadjar as well. And yeah, I mean, he was good last week, wasn't he? I was impressed until his car broke down, which obviously no fault of his. I don't think he knew it was coming from the beginning by the sounds of it. So,
well, throwing him in, I was given comfort by the fact that there's clearly some reliability in the car because Max found it for the rest of the race, and I'm hoping it was a blip. But I like what he did last weekend.
Did he? Because
Hadjar's on the track.
Hadjar's had all the bad luck with that, with the performance and the reliability of that car so far, like literally all of it. So
because if anything gets to half decent mileage, they take it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Max's car and throw it on Isaac's. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going with that, and I'm quite happy with that. I think it's a bit of a dice roll with Lewis in the sprint, but why not?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm more excited about this weekend, and I think I have been for a good couple of years now with the F1. So it's like there's so many variables.
There's so much learning happened last week as well. So that, I mean, the teams won't be. They've got 4 days.
All right. Do you want to go on mainstream television or something? There was a lot of learning happened.
Oh well,
it did.
I'm just trying to raise the fucking bar here. You know what I mean? There's some low order people watch this, and I'm trying to attract a different clientele.
Sorry, go on. There is.
I've lost
people
it.
People learn shit.
Well, the teams learn things and they can apply them in the 4. They can't apply much in the 4 days between races, but but Ferrari changing that bloody.
Did they learn stuff back at the factory as well? Did the ladies and the men and women back at the factory learn some things?
The computers learned some things. They just plugged in AI and said what happened in the race to our car.
That's almost certainly what happens, though. That's
scary. Yeah.
Almost certainly what happens. Right, mate. Should we leave it there? They're nice, short and sweet because you've got a little bit of a baddie.
You've made me feel so much better though. Everyone, mate. I always feel a nice warm glow once we finish these.
Yeah, let's leave it there, mate, and we'll come back to you on probably earlier next week.
Absolutely.
And have two races to discuss, qualifying, and just make sure. What do people need to do, Nelly? Tell people what they need to do.
The first thing they want to do is like, and then if they haven't done that, and if you're going to like, you might as well subscribe as well. So do that. Or have a bit of a laugh.
Do you know there's a bell? There's a bell to press as well, so you get notified.
Do you have to press one way? I don't know. Press a bell. Get notified when we've got episodes out. We're pretty good. We'll give you some content on the regular. Do that, and it costs you nothing. So what's it? What's the beef? What's the chew? Press a button.
We'll leave it at that. Cheers, everybody. Goodbye.
Thanks, son. Bye.